Here's a pretty neat hike in the western end of the Santa Monica Mountains in the Point Mugu area. It's also a hike that provided a pretty good workout for us. This is all part of Point Mugu State Park. It begins right off the edge of the Pacific Coast Highway and starts with an immediate climb. In fact, this trail goes up 900 feet in 7/10 of a mile. And the trail itself is not what you would call a comfortable ride. Lots of rocks and boulders and quick turns. This initial trail is known as the Chumash Trail because it used to be used by the Chumash Indians. This is not to be confused with the Chumash Trail in the Rocky Peak area. And then we stop for a minute, and Dale takes a look down at the ocean view we're beginning to get. Not the clearest of days, but it is helping to keep it a little cool. And then we found some fellow hikers on the trail up ahead of us. As we get a bit higher, that ocean view really begins to open up for us. Those other hikers gave us a chance to see where the trail was headed. Actually, it was a bit hard to spot at times. In a few spots, the trail leveled off a little bit, but not for long. Up again we went. And here Jack plods his way along the trail. And then finally, the top of this initial rise. And there laid out below us was what is known as the La Jolla Valley. A bit hazy, but still a quite beautiful area in these Santa Monica Mountains. And then the trail headed down into the valley. Quite a change from those ocean views we've been having. We've been down into this valley before, approaching it from a different direction, however. And then we reached a trailside sign telling us that this was the La Jolla Valley Loop Trail. The trail wended its way along through the tall grass of the valley floor. A pretty narrow trail, but quite well defined. As Dale stops for a minute along the way. And then the trail headed down towards a stream bed that traverses the floor of this valley. And then again, a real change in scenery. Now we're into lots of trees and heavy brush. And here Dale works his way down the trail towards the stream bed, which incidentally didn't have any water in it this time of year. But I'm not quite sure why he's rushing so much, because we had plenty of time. But in any case, he works his way across the bottom and then starts on up on the other side. Ah, there he is. Now here's one bush we really don't want to mess with. Those nice shiny red leaves are poison oak. So we're very careful to sidestep them. And then we break out into the open again, and we can see all of the communications towers on the peak over the naval base at Point Mugu, over on the other side of the mountain. Then another trail branching off of the La Jolla Valley Trail is signed to tell us it's the Mugu Peak Trail, which is the one we want. This trail begins to climb up out of the La Jolla Valley. It also begins to give us a chance to really take a look at these surrounding Santa Monica Mountains. A very pretty sight indeed. At one point we can look down and see another trail heading down towards the ocean. But our trail continues winding along the side of the mountain, heading in the direction of our starting point. Along some of these side hills we see quite a bit of cactus, which sort of looks out of place in these mountains. And then we get back to some of those ocean views. There's the seaside down there. And the same seaside from a little different angle. That's the coast highway down there running alongside the beach. And Jack works his way along this mountainside trail. And then he stops for a minute to ask Dale to pan around a little bit and take a look at what we're looking at. And there, of course, is the good old Pacific Ocean out there. And then we get a glimpse of that steep trail that we used to get up here, and we'll have to go back down again, as a matter of fact. And so we do, as we follow another hiker going on down. As Dale works his way on down, I'm happy to say, with no mishaps. And this ended about a 5-mile energetic hike with about a 1,200-foot elevation gain.